Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Red 7. How you doing? Spend your cores, spend your energy, your ISO 8 energy, spend your gold, spend everything. This new heavy metal event that we've got going on is pretty complicated. It's a long event. It's got lots of 7-day events running underneath it and stuff. I think the thing that you need to know is when it comes to spending your power cores, spending 1,000 cores over the next 7 days or however many days we have left will get you 3 heavy orbs. And if you spend 10 times as many cores, you get 10 times as many orbs. No, you don't. You actually get like 25% more orbs. It's not really worth it to max out the power core one. I recommend that people just do all of your refreshes for the ISO 8 and the campaign energy. If you're pushing for Viv, go ahead and spend there. But remember, that doesn't go towards this event. But Viv is still a good character. If you're, trying to get that 4th star, that 5th star during the event, go ahead and push for that if you can spare the orbs. But doing the 50s for sure is probably enough of the core spending that you're gonna get to like milestone 15 or something like that, or milestone 7. You'll get to milestone 7 with 1,000 points, which is 3 orbs, and that's pretty good. You get diminishing returns on that as you go through. You also have a a web milestone that repeats for 7 days. That's a 1 point per ISO or campaign energy. That's pretty important. Again, I would just do the 50 refreshes. Don't go out of your mind for this. And then there's the Monster vs. Machine 7-day milestone, which, let's see, points based on earning heavy orb frags. So getting the frags. Blitz your brains out as usual. No, I think it's 4 rotations is what people are recommending. I'm personally going to be trying to do 7 rotations a day because I think I'm going to be lacking in some of the other milestones. So do what you normally do. Try to get 4 rotations in on Blitz. Remember, it's not wins. Or it's not points, it's wins. So I'm going to be setting up my roster for 3 good teams, and the 4th team is a total loser. So as I go through it, I'll just hover around like tier 5. But you can auto lose down to tier 1 and then go through whatever you want. So that's the quick 411 on the event. If it changes, I will let you know in other Defense Up videos. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Kamikazu has a powerful defense setup. His alliance asked him to put in the good stuff and hold for his life. He's in the bridge and he is next to security, so he has defense down on the enemy most of the time. So we're going to be going at this. I'm not going to knock him down or mark him down for putting in overly good teams because that's what his alliance wants him to do. Web Warriors in team number 1. We went Raider on everybody, Striker on Miles. This is fine. I can deal with the placement. Personally, I like having Miles in one of the back positions. Like, I like putting Miles next to Gwen and then having the other 3 over here and putting Scarlet Spider as far away from OG Spider as I can. But this is fine. Splitting the team in half is good enough. You just don't want to have Scarlet Spider next to Gwen where they can hit him on a 3-piece adjacent damage kind of situation. So A for that team works for me. Team number 2 is the Asgard team. We've got Raiders, we've got Strikers, we've got a Fortifier on Sif. Now Sif is the big girl on this team, so I think Fortifier is probably the way to go on her. If that taunt holds, she is vicious as a Fortifier, because you got to get through her to make this team go down. And you can also go Raider on these girls over here. Doesn't matter, it's your choice. I think I'm doing all Raider on the team for right now, but my team's only G14. I'm not pushing them very high. I'm not sure how effective they're going to be in the Scourge. Placement is okay. Personally, I like putting Thor a little further to the outside when the team's all built up at even power levels, which this team is pretty close. I would move Thor to the outside, putting more of the other Asgardians in the center, taking those hits, giving Thor the charges. This is okay. I'm going to go ahead and give the A here because I think that these 2 lacking the 2 stars over here is enough to warrant putting Thor in the middle and keeping them further away from Sif. So good enough for me. Moving on, team number 3 is the H for H team that we all know and hate. The big problem with this is that we have Striker on Misty Knight and she needs to be a skirmisher. You got to make sure that ability block lands. If she doesn't land that ability block on Omega Red, if they misplay it and allow her to go into Omega Red and she misses that ability block, they're laughing all the way to the victory screen. Make her a skirmisher. That's going to be a B+ for this team. Everything else I can live with. Team number 4, New Warriors with Kestrel and Hela and Loki. So this is kind of a trap team. Somebody might see Hela and Loki and go, oh, here, I can use my symbiotes on this. But Cloak goes so fast, blinding the team that they can't get their speed built up. You know, symbiotes takes a second to get going. And so you might lure symbiote teams into this and they'll get killed. However, somebody could just replace Venom with somebody really fast, like Yo-Yo. And then Yo-Yo would go first and kill that Greg and give the team the speed it needs to get going, and then this team gets rolled over. Or they could just come into it with Axeman and delete the Greg. I think Hela is a liability on this team, and I think we should be replacing Hela and Loki with other people. Of course, Loki's giving a little bit of speed to the Mystic characters, changing their turn order a bit, but it's not enough to help. Kestrel is in here to go after those defense downs, the defense down that Hela is going to propagate. Hela and Loki don't do their combo together unless it's a 5-piece Asgardian team. So Loki could go after just about anybody. They're not going to taunt and go after the same spot. It doesn't really work out that well. So you need 5-piece team for Loki to place that taunt. So it may not work the way you want it to work. I'm not liking this team. For me, this is a C+. I think that there's just better things to do, like put in, let's go with like Doom, Surfer, and Red Guardian or something like that. Then this team is crazy. It's really challenging. Or Doom, Emma, and a Red Guardian, right? In case they do strip that and are able to ability block some stuff, then Emma's there to clear that ability block off of Doom and let him get going. It makes a lot of multiple threats and things to deal with. I don't like this build myself. I think it's a bad play. I mean, it's not a total waste because you can catch people off guard. It's a tricky team. It's just anybody who knows what they're doing is going to be able to beat this team with a lot of variations, not just speed meta teams either. So for me, I don't like it. I want you to use something else. Team number 5, here's where the Doom and Surfer are. You could put Kestrel back on this team and throw in Coulson. Then there's going to be all those defense downs on the field, and Coulson's going to go into him with his opening move. Doesn't matter how big he is. He's just there to proc Kestrel and make a lot of damage happen. I would like to see that more than what you've got going on here. This just is a big, scary team that people are going to, Eternals or something. They're going to come into this with something huge, like, I don't know. I mean, they'll come into it with a Darkhold team or whatever and crush this. I think you're presenting too big a target here. So again, I don't like who you're using. As for ISOs and placement, that's fine. Maybe move Maria Hill a little further away from Sam. You might actually want Doom closer to Sam so that he can pick up that splash damage to turn over his, to get his turn meter going. I don't know. For me, I don't like the people being used on this team either. It's a big, scary team, but it formulates too big of a target. So for me, this is probably a B-. I don't think it's as bad as the other team, but yeah, I think you should switch it up a little bit. All right, team number 6 is the Young Avengers with JJ. We have America Chavez being used on a Speed Eternals team that's coming up. You'll see that. JJ's a good replacement. She gives energy out to this team, right? She clears the positive effects from the opponents coming in. She's an energy battery. She does all sorts of stuff for this team. She's a pretty good fit. But honestly, I think what you should do is take Miles off of your Web Warrior team, right? Take Miles off of this Web Warrior team and put in Symbiote Spider-Man in here, giving them that huge health boost, and then you can come back to this team and put Miles on it, and he's got the Young Avenger tag for a little bit more synergy, plus he's got that turn meter rewind that could hit the right person and slow them down and make things pretty screwy. But this is fine. This is good. I'm not going to mark you down for this. This is a good way to go with this. However, we've got to get Miss Marvel out of the corner. That's a liability on this team. We don't want that to happen. I believe JJ has a cleanse of some sort, which could be useful. I don't know how that times out with a Miss Marvel, if that's going to work the way you want it to or not. I personally would just move her out of the corner to be sure. And then the rest of it is, oh, you have her as a striker. Let's get Echo to not be a striker. I want her a raider Oh, I'm sorry. No, Striker is fine. Striker's fine. I'm sorry. Striker's fine. Raider's another good choice, but Striker's fine because you want the combo with her. Healer's okay. I kind of am liking the healer on Squirrel Girl for outside of this team, and so you might as well just make her a healer and not waste the ISOs doing two different things. And then I like Skirmisher on Kate because she needs that focus to land those blinds, so that's good. And Skirmisher on JJ is fine for extra clearing ability and stuff like that. Works for me. I think the team is good. I do want to see the placement change. I'm going to go with a B+ for that. I think that's pretty detrimental, even though you have a cleanser there. All right, team number 7 is Rogue with Emma and the Speed Eternals with Chavez. Now, I think Rogue is a waste on this team. I think you're going to come into this team with Eternals and Doom. You're going to get, the opponent is going to get hit first, knocking Doom under 50%. He's going to come back with Time Platform and blow this team up. And Rogue probably isn't even going to get to take a turn. What you could do to change that is swap places with Cersei and Rogue so that Rogue is sped up also. Icarus will rewind the turn meter, giving enough time for Cersei to get to her turn without being sped up. You could also replace Emma with Loki in there, and then you would replace Rogue with Icarus. So Cersei would be going super duper fast because Loki would be making her go first out of these two. You took Icarus out of there. She's rewinding the turn meter, then Rogue goes, then later Icarus goes. I don't know. Those are some options. I don't like Rogue in here after the fact. I think she's going to be useless. I think it's a waste of her turn. I think she's going to get blown up by the counter that goes into this team. So probably just take Rogue out of here and make a different defense or use her for offense if that's what you want to do. It's not for me. I think it's a waste of Rogue personally. Otherwise, the Chavez Eternal team is a great team. It's really tricky. It catches a lot of people off guard sometimes. One of the best counters, it has a bit of RNG in it, forcing them to do the right amount of damage to your Doom to trigger certain things to take place. So for me, I think it's a waste of Rogue. I'm going to give you a B- on this. I want you to put somebody else in there. You could swap places here and then put Thanos over here, giving the energy to Icarus. That way you might get a second shot out of this team. Team number 8 is the Weapon X team. Okay, I don't like the ISOs on Sabretooth or Wolverine. Wolverine can be a raider, that's not bad, but Sabretooth has to be a raider. He's jumping around with lots of crit built into his kit. He needs to be a raider. You want Wolverine to be the striker. Wolverine will go into it and then go into a vulnerable double tap, come back with his assist, which will give him speed up and make him get to his ult a lot faster. If Wolverine gets to his ultimate, somebody dies. Like, that's what he's all about. You got to get to Wolverine's ultimate to kill somebody. Otherwise, everything else is okay. Yeah, I just want to see the ISO swap there. Placement's good enough for me. It works. I'm going to go with a B+ on that team. Team number 9 is the Infinity Watch. I like Moondragon as a healer these days. I don't know if it's worth changing, but I do like her better as a healer. Placement, who cares? Everybody has their own favorite for placement, so I don't argue that one anymore. I'm going to go A- for this team. Team number 10 is the Darkhold team with Dormammu. Okay, Darkhold, we have 2 people putting out vulnerables, 3 people soaking them up. That's kind of okay because Dormammu usually goes so slow that he doesn't take a turn if somebody is going to beat this team. I think that it's good that you took MLF up to a striker because she's big enough that it warrants going to striker. I think I'm going to be doing that with my MLF. I'm about ready to buy the 6th red star on her, and I will for sure switch her over to a striker at that point in time. Otherwise, it would be nice to try and find some other way to get vulnerables out on the field, but I don't think it really warrants it. I think all these are the best ISO choices. I do like this Dormammu placement. Some other people are going to argue with me, but I like the Dormammu in the center. I think it makes it tough when you come into this with a Darkhold team because you're usually wanting to hit a 3-piece, right? You're wanting to go into like MLF and put those negative effects on her that cascade to the adjacent people, and it's not going to cascade to him. So you either have to go after him, remove the immunity to land those negative effects and have it cascade to these two, which who cares about landing it on Doctor Strange? You want it, well, you don't want it on Wong either, it doesn't care. So you really want it on Agatha, and so this forces you to only get those cascading negative effects on 2 people. It's a good placement for me, I like it. Agatha calling the assist from MLF as a striker, that's what you want. Everything going right here. I wish we could get more vulnerables on the team, but I don't think there's any other way to do it. I think this is the best placement and ISO settings. So good job. A for the team. In fact, I'm going to give you the A+ because you are switching to striker. That's the hot new sauce that everybody's doing. So good job there, Kamikazu. Some places where he needs some work, but some other things he's doing really right. I hope this gave you guys some good ideas on what you want to do with your rosters, with your defense. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.